Hi, my name is Sandra Hay. I am the mother of Rodney C. Hay, and I'm here with my husband.
Ralph Hay.
And we're here to talk about our son Rodney and the blessing that he was to his family, his community, his friends, and his motorcycle club. He was the vice president of Afro Dogs Motorcycle Club, the Rochester chapter. Rodney left us to do work for the Lord on November 25th by an accidental self inflicted wound. He was carrying his firearm and it discharged, and it hit his femur, and he didn't survive. He did try to get help. So I just want to put that out there that it was an accidental self inflicted wound. I'm here to talk about Rodney because Rodney was such a blessing to the community, to his family, and I did not realize what a blessing God had lent to us these 35 years that he was here on this side of life with us. Rodney was such an extraordinary young man. He had words that he lived by. Some of his favorite words were 10 toes down, always be humble and selfless. Um, he was a remarkable young man. He serviced this community in the city of Rochester at a level I had no idea. All I knew was he was my son. He'd run in and say, "Mom, you all right? Call me, check on me and my husband, of course." Um, he was married, beautiful wife, three gorgeous daughters. His twins, which are the oldest, are seniors this year, and his youngest, Riley, is 7. He was all hands on husband and girl dad. There was nothing that his wife or his children wanted or needed that he did not provide. At the age of 35, Rodney had worked his way up to corporate Wegmans. He had actually just started there about 2.5 years ago. Did 2 years, I'm sorry, of evenings and nights, and then he got promoted to days. So the last 6 months of his life, he was at corporate Wegmans,
Right.
um, working. Um, when I talked to Wegmans after his death and his boss came out, he said to me, he said, when they interviewed Rodney and he walked in the room, he had this big smile, and they all said to themselves, they didn't care how he interviewed or what he said. He was immediately hired. And he had that effect on quite a few people. He had the same effect on the Swan community, which is the Southwest Area Association, Neighborhood Association. Um, he dedicated himself to the rehab of that building with all the electrical work that he could possibly do, from inside to outside to outlets to running lines. He worked numerous of Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays, and he did the same with his community. I had no idea that God had lent us a gem, and
Yes, he was.
my thing is that I used to always walk around and say, "Oh, Rodney's a mini me," but I'm a mini Rodney. So I'm going to try to spend my latter days here on this side, honoring my son and living up to his expectations of being humble, selfless, and always to remember to give people your best. So now
Yeah.
I'm going to let my husband share some of his memories.
Uh, it's not too much more I could say after that, Sandra. Um, Rodney, Rodney was such an amazing young man at his age, 35. Um, he loved his family. He loved his wife. He loved his children. His daughters was his world. He worked all the time. He was the hardest working young man that I've ever known in my life. Not because he was my son, but his work ethics were just out of this world. he believed as being a man that he should be that man, and he represented what a man should be. Rodney was dedicated at whatever he did. He was strong. He was caring. He loved everyone. Rodney didn't have any enemies. He was just that type of guy. He surely is missed. Um, People in the community, he worked so hard for them. He didn't even. He was a great electrician. Rodney could do anything he set his mind to. Um, Even growing up as a child, um, Rodney was so smart. Um, he just worked so hard. He was very. I was proud of him. Very proud of both of my sons. Rodney was. He was special. He was a special gem. We lost a great son, and I just wanted everybody to know what type of man, father, husband, so committed to his family. Um, Rodney, Rodney never went to college, but he went to a trade school. He went to BOCES, and he studied as an electrician. And when he got out of BOCES, he got his first job. Um, Remember the company you worked for?
Yes, he worked for Micro
Microtechnology.
but he did go to MCC.
He went to MCC
Yeah,
as a trade school
yeah,
also.
yeah.
They sent him to school.
Yes, he went to MCC.
Micro sent him to school.
Yeah.
But he was so efficient at what he did. He moved up so fast.
So fast.
And most of his jobs, that's the way he did. He was just that kind of individual that put all he had into it. He was devoted in his work. It spoke for the things that he did. And he got out of Micro. I think he went to
when he was done with Micro, he went to GM,
yeah,
and then from there he
GM.
went to Love Beats, which is a food manufacturing company, and then he got into Wegmans.
Worked for Wegmans for a few years. They promoted him. He started out as an electrician. I think on evenings. Then he moved to days after a year or so. And they loved his work, and they promoted him. He was going to get a promotion.
He did get a promotion.
Yeah, to move to
it's the corporate.
Yes. To corporate, and that's just how devoted he was about his work. And Wegmans saw that. They saw they had a special person, special individual that could really transform that company and make it even bigger than what it was.
Yes. Rodney was devoted to anything he put his mind to do. He would succeed in it. I've had so many people that have come up to me. This month will make 5 months
Yes,
that Rodney
5 months.
has been gone from this side of life. And it has not been a week that at least 3 people have come up to me and said, "Oh, you're Rodney's mom," or "I know of Rodney. He was such a good guy." All his close friends have gravitated to us and reached out to us, and each one of them had a thing of saying that they thought they were Rodney's best friend. until calling hours, and people got up and spoke,
Right.
and they realized he made everybody feel that way. Um,
You could
and
feel
you
the
could feel
vibe.
the
Yeah.
love. Yes,
Yeah.
I've never saw so many young men crying. I've never saw so many that came out from the community that said that he did this and he did that for them, and he would drop whatever he could to make sure that he would help people,
Hmm.
and then on top of that, taking care of us as his parents,
Hmm.
being, is what his brother would say, the big brother. We have two sons, Ralph Jr., and then there was Rodney. And Rodney always grew up wanting to be the oldest. Oh, that was his thing. So his older brother decided, I'm going to let him be the oldest. And he did. So upon passing, I remember a Facebook post that Ralph Jr. put up, and he said, literally, I'm the older brother, but
Right.
you are my big brother.
Right.
And it was not one day that Ralph Jr. did not allow Rodney to be that big brother. I
And he
used to
was proud
say,
of that.
yeah, he was proud of
He was
letting
proud
his
of that.
brother be the big brother. And I used to say different things to Ralph. Why are you going to do this or do that? And the first thing he would say is, "Oh, I got to check with Rod." Um,
I would have to run it
that
by
you
Rodney.
have to run it by Rodney, and the love that they had for each other. I never forget when Ralph Jr. told me, he said, Mom, you will never understand our relationship.
Mm.
And not many people would have this relationship. And that was true. They had a saying they used to always post pictures and say, from the womb to the tomb. And
Just to
they're,
add to that,
they're
always bad boys
bad
for
for
life.
life. Yeah, bad
Bad
boys
boys
for
for
life.
life.
But again, I want to
Hmm.
reiterate on
Yeah.
um, his life, his legacy, the memories. Even on the day of him passing, he was helping his mother in law. He had left Wegmans for lunch and he went to her house. So even in his passing on that day, he was still reaching out. He was helping his mother in law, whom he loved dearly, and he loved his wife dearly, and he just went to support. And unfortunately, it was a mishap, and this is where we are now. But I just want the community and young people to know that in his lossing, it was nothing that was violent. I want them to know that reach out, help, love, be humble, be selfless. I want his memory to be carried on. I want people to know that when they go through downtown East Avenue and they see
That's
a
right.
light on a building, that's Rodney. If
That's
you come
Rodney.
by Swan,
That's
which is at
Rodney.
10 Katy Street, and see the outdoor lights, the security cameras, and that's Rodney.
Rodney.
Rodney is all over this city until it is so remarkable. I did not know the depth of how well he was known in this community. I'm realizing it now. I'm honoring it, and I'm trying to step up and be the person that he was, because I feel like I'm falling short. And I want to make his name memorable to the city of Rochester and the community that he touched, even the suburban areas. Rodney had people coming from Pittsford, Irondequoit, Greece,
Right.
Chili, all
Right.
over for his services. The
Right.
calling hours, we had over 500 people. And to me, that showed me how he touched the lives of everyone. And I also want to bring up the part about grieving. It's been really rough on us.
Yes.
We're a very close knit family.
Right.
We do everything together. We love hard together, no matter what. We always talk. We always said we love you afterwards. I always told him we were proud of him.
Yes.
Tell your family members that.
Yeah.
Don't, because life can end so shortly on this side. Every moment isn't promised to us. You get up in the morning and you get going and you thinking, well, you'll be back home tonight, and you may not. So love on your loved ones. Um,
Particularly the young fathers,
yes,
as men. We need to tell our children, daughters, and sons every day that I love you.
correct.
And I said that to my son the last day I seen him.
Hmm.
But I would say that every day. But I don't feel bad about saying that. I don't feel any less of a man saying, I love you, son, because I did love my son. And I love both of my sons. And I will tell anyone that anytime and anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the part that I wanted to share on grief was that it comes in waves. You could be all of a sudden laughing, and then you'll think, oh, wow, why am I laughing? He's gone. And then the tears begin to fall. And when they fall, let them out. It's a process.
Right.
It takes time. It may take
Healing.
years. You may not never stop grieving when you lose a loved one. It's there with you. You're part of a club that you can't get out. But what you can do is ask God to help you understand.
Absolutely.
And help you get through the times, get through the moments, comfort you, give you ways to deal with it, because it's a different type of life. Life has changed. A part of you is gone that cannot come back on this side. If you trust in the Lord and you know his spirit is flying high and he's doing God's work.
Absolutely.
You know,
you will
it'll
see
get
him
you
again.
through. Yeah.
You will see him again.
Yes. And because Rodney was so talented that every room we walk into our home, there's a piece of Rodney, from a light fixture to a ceiling design to a floor design to even my whole bathroom being remodeled. So he was a gifted young man, and we hope to carry his legacy on. Thank you.